Spiky Bits. Make sure you stay in the trenches. Help keep our channel ad-free by becoming a supporter over on Patreon and also scoring yourself some free miniature swag in the process. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Check out our site, spikybits.com, for all the hot hobby tutorials, news, rumors on all your favorite hobby topics. And head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today. What's up, hobby maniacs? Baer here today. We'll look at some fantastic new hobby products. Secret Weapon Minis is coming in hot with some clutch new products, and actually I picked up a couple other things to review just because I've been wanting them for a while and I just hadn't had a chance to pick them up or had a need to. But nowadays there's so much stuff coming hot and quick, you always want to kind of have a few things on hand just to, you know, in case, oh, I need a base, or oh, I need that. I feel like it's never a bad thing to have an extra Night Titan base, or, you know, some sort of terrain that you have laying around just in case you gotta make something on the fly. So these are Secret Weapon Minis, a couple of their Night Titan bases, the large ovals. This one is the Scrapyard. It's a one of their more popular styles, I want to say. You know, they have the tabletop terrain boxes that match, and then they got Desert Wasteland, which is another popular kind of brand, or I guess model. Now this has some pieces that jut up right out of it, right? And this is really lightweight resin, and surprisingly, it's not bowed, which is really cool to see. I mean, Justin, you know, at Secret Weapon Minis, Justin McCoy, Mr. Justin, he's got a great team of resin crafters out there in Northern California, and those guys really do a good job with, you know, the material and the designs. I mean, look at this stuff here. I mean, you don't really see a lot of good high quality stuff like this coming out of anywhere in the world, I feel like, much less, you know, United States, and of course all their stuff's made in the US. So, you know, that's always the thing for some of us folks here in the States. And then here's I think this is the Urban Rubble, I want to say, which to me it looks like just a bunch of like sprues thrown in a blender and they're just kind of based on here, which I think is hilarious. I don't know why I didn't think about it first, but man, that really gets the gears grinding there for a lot of you know, basing opportunity. You can do different colors and put some little tufts on it and things like that. And again, you know, they've got high quality stuff. They've thought out where the knights will go on here. You know, you basically have these little pads and the guys will fit right on it a couple of different ways. There you can see it's almost fits like a glove. And then of course, if you flip it around, it's going to be symmetrical once you lock it in. Oh, I can't. It's hard to see through this thing and also lock that. There it is. Okay, we did it. Who's a big boy now? So there you can see, and this one's super easy because you can tell right there the space is there. And then this, it doesn't really look like it, but they actually thought it out too. I just forget where it is. But there it is. So it locks right in. Now, granted, if you're going to spend the time painting up your Night Titan, make sure you pin it to this. You know, you don't, stuff like this, I couldn't really see the glue actually sticking. You know, you're going to pull this off, and one time you're just going to grab it too forcefully, and whoop, comes right off. So, you know, Kenny's got a great tutorial over on Next Level Painting about how to pin your models to bases after you paint them all up. But another cool thing about Secret Weapon Minis, they also have some great stuff, other products out there, like, for instance, they've got a great line of terrain. These are little jersey wall barriers, which I think are hilarious, by the way. They're really cool. You know, they come in this little pack here of 5. And, you know, it doesn't seem like it stretches out as far as it does. Once you unbox it here, you can kind of tell, like, holy crap, that's like over a foot long. You know what I mean? So, like, you could use these as defense lines. You could smash them into rubble, cut them up, you know, have them all over the place, make little objectives, you know, have them decorating in front of some of your Imperial buildings. And, you know, there's pretty much the sky's the limit, I feel like. Like, this is really high quality stuff here. And they have sandbag emplacements, they have scrap piles, they have pretty much, you know, the sky is the limit for what you might expect to see in a, I guess maybe a modern or kind of like a grimdark battlefield on a, you know, a represented tabletop. And a lot of these match some of the terrain table sets that they do as well. If you haven't seen those, they're very similar to the Games Workshop Realm of Battle board, but what they're 1 by 1 foot squares instead of the 2 by 2 that the Realm of Battles are. They're a fraction of the price. They have this really cool like little it's like a little cross hatch kind of interlocking system to kind of snap them into in case. Well, what people forget too is, you know, everybody sees the unpainted like tablescapes tiles or the unpainted rubber battle boards, and they're like, oh, my stuff slides on them and moves around and blah blah blah. But when you get paint on there, and when you're dealing with that much surface area, a lot of times you want to color match some latex paint over at Lowe's or whatever, and then, you know, roll on the first coat, dry brush the rest with those really crappy, you know, $1 paint brushes. You know, you can really do a lot of good work with those things. You don't have to ruin your $10 a piece, you know, small teeny brushes painting those those big table tiles. So once you get them paint on them, the resistance and the moving around is really kind of at a minimum, I feel like. And latex paint, you really don't need to matte coat either. So there's kind of, but it is a little bit chunkier, so to speak. So you got to be careful with it. You can't use it the same way as you'd use acrylic paints. But, you know, a lot of trial and error. It's just terrain. So, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, who kind of cares if you mess it up? It's literally a war zone. You know what I mean? This here is a conversion that a buddy of mine, Lucas, did. It's a void shield generator, and we kind of did a little thing about it, like a social contract video about how you want to build something. If you're going to build like a void shield generator, you want to build it to about the exacting specifications of said generator. But what's really cool about this is that Secret Weapon Miniatures puts out this little shield generator kit. Now, it's not enough to do to make a void shield generator in and of itself, but it is enough to augment something. Like, you know, this is really cool. It's the base here, and it's got these acrylic rods, and they basically lock in to the top here, you know, and so there is a little bit of assembly required. And remember, when you're working with these acrylic rods, you might want to put these in, if you just want it to be acrylic, you might want to put these in last, you know, paint all your pieces and then use some Elmer's glue or white PVA glue to lock these in, because otherwise the regular super glue is going to craze them. And what that's going to do is it's basically going to have that white, it's kind of looks like a crazing, to where it's, you know, the fumes get on it and dry basically. It's kind of like a reverse oxidization. Well, anyways, I'm trying to lock this in here, but of course, coordination and looking through the viewfinder here is always a little bit lacking. But anyways, you kind of get the idea. So all these pieces locked together, and yeah, you know, it's kind of like it's a little bit of work to separate all this stuff off, and then you have to straighten it out, you know. But the kit itself is, I think, around $20. You can't really go wrong with that. But what I was going to show you was, you know, you can basically take something like this and then put it, you know, get some G-dub ruins and then basically put it on top here, you know, and kind of build up your bastions around it, because remember, it is supposed to be a little bit taller. But it gives you an idea of some of the stuff that you can do. You can combo this piece of terrain, because something like this kind of hard to find. And, you know, if you can just buy it pre-manufactured from Secret Weapon, that's kind of a boon, I feel like, you know, to kind of pick it up and already have that superstructure, or that sub-assembly kind of put together, and then you just basically do some ruins and put it on top, or build another substructure around it for some bastions, or you can put it on the tippy top all the way up here. So it kind of gives you some ideas, some conversion potential ideas too. Quick and easy little pieces of terrain, features and bases from Secret Weapon Minis. And remember, all of their designs or their lines basically go all the way from, you know, 25 to 20 millimeters all the way on up to Night Titan size, and a lot of times they have matching little terrain set accessories for the tabletop terrain tile system that they do too. So Secret Weapon Minis has a ton of stuff. They've been doing it for a while. They've been in the game 5-6 years, I don't even know. And, you know, there's just good people to deal with. You'll see them at shows. You know, you can check them out online, secretweaponminis.com, of course. So that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.